Hello, and welcome to the next episode of It's Your Time to Shine, a podcast about being a mom in a modern world. My name is Juspreet Kaur, and with me is my friend Lisa.
Hey, Jess. How are you today?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm not sure why I just saying today. Anyway, I'm good. I was trying to sprout some lentils and another fail. It's my second time. It's my second time trying to do it. And yeah, apparently I'm the only one in the world who can't do it. So,
Hey, I have great news for you. The best news ever. I've tried to do that 3 times, and I've failed every time also. Is it get moldy?
Mine hasn't gotten moldy yet, but they just didn't sprout. Yours got moldy?
Yeah, mine sprouted, but it got moldy. And so this is like when you're sprouting lentils, I think they say like it should be cold. It should be in a cool, dark, moist place, right?
Oh my God. So what I read is do it in a warm place. I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. No. Warm makes more sense.
No. Maybe I'm wrong because mine isn't. I don't know. But anyway, so we're not having sprouted lentils, are we? Ever?
No, I don't think so. I think unless Trader Joe's has it.
Oh, I have to check.
I don't even shop at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. I don't know why I said that. I just assumed stores like that would have it.
Oh, okay. I got excited. Well, I'm going to check and I'll let you know.
Yeah, check it out.
I'll let everyone know because I know everyone right now is very interested in this.
So. Yeah. Why do you want to eat sprouted lentils? Tell us more.
Well, when I went to Texas, my aunt made a salad with it. So it was just a simple salad, like avocado, tomato, cucumber, the lentils, and then lemon juice with salt and pepper. And it was so good. And I'm trying to add more lentils to my diet. So I thought that'd be a good way to do it. And it tastes good. But who knew that this entire sprouting lentil thing would take so long? Not so long. I mean, would be a fail. But that's okay because you failed too. And now I feel better.
Yeah, there you go. I failed.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I've been trying to introduce some healthier meal choices into our family as well because I'm just trying to get the kids ready for school starting.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of junk food introduced like on vacations, visiting with family, and then having people come over, including, I mentioned this before, ice cream every single day on vacation. My kids had like gelato or ice cream every day. And I have had a hard time breaking them of that habit. So I tried to do like ice smoothies, like flavored ice smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, this doesn't taste good. And I was like, what do you mean? This is great. And they're like, it's missing cream and sugar.
It's missing everything good.
I'm like, okay, fine. So it was kind of funny.
We have the same thing. I mean, on vacation, we eat all of us are eating junk and ice cream and mac and cheese and pizza. But it's easy to break Allie because I just don't serve it to her. That's it. She whines about it. I'm like, sorry, no more ice cream. We're done. But that's because she's 4 and I can do that.
Yeah. And she maybe forgets.
No, she doesn't forget. No. She'll still try like all day. Hey, Mommy, I'm going to be a good girl today. I'm like, why? Then you'll give me ice cream. I'm like, that's the only reason.
Gosh, that's so funny. She knows about the risk rewards of being on good behavior already.
Oh, she learned a big one this morning, even though I caved. But she learned it until I caved.
Oh, that's funny. There you go. We just summed up parenting for everyone, people. What else do you need to know?
Yep, not following through. Because I actually, we're going on a play date in a few hours, and her friend has a pool. Anyways, I enjoy going there. I get along really well with her mom. Mm-hmm. So I threatened, I won't go into the details, but basically she was misbehaving. I'm like, that's it, we're not going. And she started bawling. I was like, we're not going. And I knew in my heart that we are going to go, no matter what, because I'm looking forward to it.
But she doesn't know that yet.
She doesn't. So I actually let her for 2 hours just like sulk and be upset. And, she was sad. And then I was like, can you at least, she goes, I'm sorry. I was like, no, you always say you're sorry, but you have to actually understand what you did that made mommy so mad. And at what point when you decide not to, when you decide not to listen to me, what's going through your mind? And there's consequences to your behavior. So then I just let her cry. Not cry, but just be, sulk for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And then I had a talk with her. So now we're going. So she wins.
Well, she really won you over, huh?
She did, but that's because I want to go and the summer's almost over and they're being split and they're not in the same class next year. So I feel bad. But I did tell her and I'm like, I know you won this time or we are going, but just know I recognize that. I don't know what I said. So it's like, I recognize what I'm doing, but I'm still doing it. All right, fine. I hope you recognize it and just still don't misbehave. She's like,
That's
okay.
hilarious.
Anyway.
My kids are old enough to know when we're gonna not cancel plans on something, because I'll be like, you know what, just forget it, and they won't say anything. They're just like, yeah, right. You already packed the cooler. You have all the towels in the back of the van. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, I will cancel this. You guys know I don't care. And they're like, but Dad, we won't cancel because he doesn't. He already packed up the cooler in the car, and he's already sitting in the car waiting.
So they're immune to your threats.
Yes, they feel that my threats might be thinly veiled. But what I have started doing is, and this is more of like this, like usually Punjabi parents don't do this, but I've been inspired by some of my my other friends here. I'll give them a timeout right when we get somewhere. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Everybody else is going to jump in the pool, and you're going to have to wait
Yeah.
4 minutes, or you're going to have to wait like 12 minutes. And they're just
Right.
like, they have like gasp because, Punjabi parents don't really do timeouts. Like, generally speaking, your
Mm-hmm.
kid's either really poorly misbehaved or you just corporal punishment, right? You would get like a thapper to the muh, or they get slapped on the face or slapped on the butt or
Yeah.
something. And so
Mm-hmm.
like there's no in between. So I've instituted that a couple times, which has been kind of interesting. The kids have been surprised. And then the other thing, already told them that once school starts, there's going to be no TV, like Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no TV at all.
At all?
Yeah, at all.
Wow.
None. I'm like, there's so many other things to do. Practice your violin,
That's awesome.
play like play volleyball, go play soccer, like walk the dog.
I'm going to take after your playbook.
Well, I told my kids that and they were like shocked. And I do that like every year. And they were straight up shocked, like as if I was speaking a foreign language that they didn't understand, they couldn't comprehend. They were like, this is advanced physics, Mom. It doesn't make sense. Like, tell us more about how could this ever even happen?
You're like, why don't you study advanced physics? And you tell
Yes.
me.
And I told them that, and my husband is just like smiling because he's like, okay, let's see if it happens. I was like, no, it's gonna happen. Like, tempt me, people, it'll happen. And I had a flashback that my dad did that. So when I was a kid, I just remembered this, like as I was telling them about this rule, that my dad, every summer we'd have cable. Remember when cable was like a box you put on top of your TV and you punch the channels into it?
I know exactly. I have the vision. Yep. I remember the button.
Yep. Every September, Labor Day weekend would come around. We'd be watching TV. Like, I remember MTV, we used to just sit and watch videos on there, like actual music videos. And then my dad, on that first week, right after Labor Day, he'd cut the cable off and we'd have no cable until May of the following year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I learned this from my dad. I learned this tactic from my dad.
I think that's really cool how you can, you don't think at that point it has an effect, but then later you're with your kids and all of a sudden you remember that moment and it has its place in your parenting, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was like my own thought, and then later I realized, like, oh, I actually got this from my dad. And the cool thing about my dad, so I as I was reminiscing, and I was talking to my brother about it as well. I was like, hey, do you remember this? And he was like, gosh, that was bull. My brother went right back to the feeling, like, it was like he was 10 again. Yeah. And he had that feeling of like, man, that used to really bum me out. Like, and he had things that he probably wanted to watch throughout the year that people would talk about were only on cable.
Right.
And I said, but what was baller about Dad? Like, he had no office hours. He was not open for discussion. It was just like cables cut off. We would just come home. The box would be gone. It'd just be wires coming out of the wall.
Yeah.
Like those white wires coming out of the wall. The cable box is gone. No one says anything. And then we're like, Mom, where's the cable? And my mom's like, oh, your dad cut it off. And that's it. No one went to my dad to ask him why. No one demanded, like said it's not fair. The conversation was over.
See, we need to do that again because it's too much negotiation now.
It's so crazy.
Well, if you do this, we'll do that. If you do blah, blah, like way too much. That's exactly how parenting should be. Just boom, do it. No questions, do not ask. Closed door policy.
Yeah. I think most of the times that won't work, but I think with TV, we might be onto something.
I think it's funny though how you take that moment. You're like, yeah, Dad had a point, and you're applying it. And Deep is still like, no, I'm mad.
Yeah. He's like, dang it.
He's mad all over again. There's no.
He's like, now he's probably like scheming like now, like I should cut their cable off because my dad lives by TV now. It's so funny.
Right.
How did the birthday party go?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Swimming pool. It was awesome. The weather was great. Thank God. I was in the pool the whole time. I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to do as a mom, to be honest, because there's other moms who were just standing there and they were all talking and they were having fun. And I actually was kind of like, should I be with them? Should I because I made it very easy. Like, oh, here's chips. There's the pizza, drinks are in the cooler. If you guys want to come to the pool, come. That's it. So I was swimming the whole time. And later on, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I hope I didn't ignore them. And then I was like, babe, like to Samir, I was like, did you think about that? Like you were in the pool too. He's like, no. And I realized that's right there, the difference between a mom and a dad. I actually had guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt guilty for not socializing with them as much as I thought I'm supposed to, I guess. I mean, I socialized a little bit. And he didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, so I can totally relate. I had a birthday party 2 weeks ago for my youngest, and I think I may have mentioned to you that I was trying to make it so that there was less like hostess type activities when people got there for me to do. And one of the things that I did was hired someone to make tacos and serve them.
Oh, cool. That sounds like so much fun. I'm sorry we missed it.
It is really cool. It was kind of like the idea of a taco truck, but instead of a truck, which, has to be on the road, this was like a little table, like a cart that he set up in our backyard. And I had a lot, like I had Bottom and two of our friends who were helping me like negotiate the deals and like figure out, how to set everything up. We're like, oh, it's a little expensive and it would be cheaper if you just cook the food yourself and everything. But, I was like, I've had so many birthday parties where afterwards I'm exhausted and I didn't even really see anybody. Like our friends will come over, they have fun with themselves and I'm just running around. And like I bake cakes and stuff too, just for fun. So I was like, here, just to make it like mentally work out for me, I was like, okay, rather than ordering an expensive cake for this unicorn minion party that Hudgun wanted to have, I'll just make a cake and make cupcakes and I'll spend that money on hiring this guy. And so on the day, he came, set everything up, made the tacos. Everybody ate like hot, fresh food, including me. It was so cool. I got to walk around and actually visit with people, sit with all of my guests. Like I took turns sitting with them or singing. It was a karaoke party, singing with them. And it was so much fun.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
And at the end of the night, we have like Bottom's very best friend. His family always stays way after at our parties. And we just like sit outside, under the lights. And it was so much fun, like perfect, like summer evening. And they were like, oh, we'll help you clean up. And I was like, guys, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. We'll do it in the morning. And they were like, no, we're going to help you clean up. And they forced me. They were like, no, we're going to help you. And they got trash bags and they helped me like clean everything up. And even though I kept saying like, no, let's just sit and chill. Then at the end, we had like 4 big trash bags full of just trash, and stuff. And I was like, everything was done. Like there was no cleanup after that.
It makes such a difference.
Makes a huge difference.
It's like 7 people, boom, and it's like 10 minutes and you're done.
Yeah, versus like 2 people
Yeah.
spending like an hour and a half, right?
Right, exactly.
And afterwards, I told Bottom, I was like, gosh, this is what it took. It took me like 14 years of being a mom to finally figure out that having a huge party with like all these goodie bags and all these like planned activities, hiring like a face painter. Like I've done so many things over the years.
Right.
Hired someone to make balloons, gotten a snow cone machine, gotten a cotton candy machine. Like I've done, you name it. Like we've tried so many different things. And I'm like, now this is it. Just having everyone over in our backyard, having someone make food. And then like we had a microphone with speakers and kids sang the songs that they wanted to sing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the secret to a fun party. Like, why did it take so long to figure that out?
Yeah. No, it is. It didn't take me long. I all my parties are simple. I think I'm on the other end. I'm trying to do as least amount of work as possible.
Yeah. No, but it's I think that's awesome. And then like the pool party thing, like you're saying, you're wondering like, are you supposed to swim? Are you not supposed to swim? I hate that as women, we're always like, what is everybody else going to do?
Yeah, and either end, right? For you, it's like, I don't want to be in the kitchen the whole time, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to socialize. And for me, it's, I don't want to be in the water the whole time. What if I'm not? Like, it's always something. Like, what are the expectations, you know?
And then you go to, sometimes you go to pool parties and there's women that are like, oh, I'm not going to go in my bathing suit in front of everyone. Or I'm
Right.
not going to get my hair wet in front of
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these little subtle things and you're like, don't judge me because I'm going to be actually playing with the kids.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, and if people don't want to go, that's fine. That's totally fine. I totally understand. Everyone doesn't want to go inside the pool, you know?
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't like that feeling of feeling guilty. That's all. I was like, why am I feeling guilty? And I asked Samir probably, I don't know, 20 times, was I rude? Was I rude? So, you know, I had to kind of assess, why do I feel that way? Because he's like, no, you were fine. You said hi to everyone. You know, you did everything. What more were you? What else were you supposed to do? I was like, I don't know. Sit there and talk to everyone. But then I'm like, no, they should have come into the water. You know, it's just, yeah. The point isn't this specific situation. The point is just the guilt that we always feel, and we feel like there's some sort of standard we're supposed to meet. And I at least always feel like I fall short, at least socially as a mom.
I think there's that mom standard, and then there's also a Punjabi woman standard of being a really good hostess and tending to everyone's needs. You have
Right.
that obligation of like, I find myself even in non-Indian settings feeling like, oh, I have to go around, I have to say hi to everyone, I have to greet them, you know. And it's like, why? Why do we put that? It's something that we're trained to do. And I mean, part of it is my personality too. Like I do enjoy like saying hi to people.
Yeah.
I'm actually better with like short intro conversations rather than like going super deep with anyone. It's like, hi, okay, it's good to see you, you know?
So about your podcast about connections, let's talk more.
Yes.
Let's talk more about you and me. You're like, whoa, no, just want to talk about the weather.
You're like, but I'll be right back. I'm going to go say hi to so-and-so. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I'm glad the party went well.
You know, regardless of what I end up doing that day, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do the same thing, you know, stay in the pool and just be guilty. Because if I didn't, I know I'd be even more mad, if that makes sense. Like if I didn't go to the pool just because I had to fulfill an obligation, I'd be mad that I caved to society's expectations for me. So I would much rather still do what I want to do and just live with the guilt for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if the guilt's only for 2 hours, and that's okay. My experience was that the guilt would always last a lot longer than that.
No, I end up getting over it eventually.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I get over it after 2 hours. But I wouldn't get over caving and changing who I am. You know what I mean? That I would not get over at all.
And I think the guilt is all relative too, because think about it. If no one said anything to you, then, and even Samir, like your husband is also saying like, no, you're fine, then it's fine. But what if what if someone's in a situation where their husband's like, no, it's not fine. Don't be in the pool, you know? Then it really then you're carrying it for a lot longer.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Thinking back to like living in a joint family, there's a lot lower threshold of people judging one another's activities because you're in such close quarters all the time. So it's like, if someone has a problem with something you did, everyone's going to know about it. And then you feel terrible. And I've personally had that experience where it's like, why did you not come to the door? Or why did you not come to the kitchen? Or why did you not do this or that? And it becomes topic of conversation. And that can be like crippling then later in life, right? Because you're like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, I actually take it for granted that I have a husband who doesn't put any expectations on me or make me feel bad about a decision I made.
Yeah, that's really awesome. But so for the person who doesn't have that, it like you can understand the negotiation.
Immediately, I feel like, oh my God, the way I felt, I immediately like just it went exponential just at the thought of my own husband not validating me and instead saying, yeah, you should have interacted more. So I just had a moment of like gratitude. So thanks, Samir, for not being that guy.
Aw. And I think like if you're in that situation, then that's when like communicating ahead of time can help, right? Like I never had it. I had it with my husband a little bit, but mostly with others. You know, I would be like, okay, here's my plan. And it took years for me to even do that, but to be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to whatever, you know, do this. And so that people know, at least they know. So there's less of a shock about it.
Right.
But and that's just it's such a terrible like way to live.
I will say though, right after the birthday party, it was like the best sleep ever.
Oh yeah, post birthday party sleep. That's the best sleep ever.
What is that a thing? I didn't
It's
know that.
totally a thing. And by the way, if your
Oh,
legs really hurt from the party, you'll sleep even better.
wow, post birthday party sleep. I didn't because honestly, I slept 12 hours and I worry enough because even though I say I keep my party simple, if I slept so well the night after, that means that there's obviously something I'm still thinking about some aspect of the party the night before. That's why I didn't sleep as well. So I did not know it was a thing. I guess you with 3 kids and how many birthdays, how many birthday parties have you done in your life?
I don't know how many birthday parties I've done because it's been like some years we just do family and then other years we'll do like a big party.
Oh, okay.
And there's no rhyme or reason to it, but every child every year gets 1 week of like all the attention being on them. And that's really exhausting too. It's super fun, but it's very tiring. I call it the birthday extravaganza.
Yeah, you do that. I love that. The whole week is like their week.
And it's all like little stuff. I don't break the bank or anything. It's little stuff. Like they wake up in the morning and I say like I'll wake them up in their bed and I have like an old like someone's old birthday card or something, and I'll
Yeah.
like give it to them like a menu and it'll say in there like you can choose from like French toast or scrambled eggs and toast or pancakes. Like they get to pick. And it's stuff that I would make for breakfast anyway.
And it's not just on the birthday. It's like the whole week prior to their birthday.
It's the whole week. Yeah, it's the whole week.
I love that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I didn't do it. I mean, I think this is the first year I can say she understands she has a grasp birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So starting next year, I'm gonna do it. I'll give you courtesy. Everything will say
Okay.
courtesy Juspreet. Courtesy
Thank you.
Juspreet Mussy. But no, but even if it's not bank, you're using a lot of creative time to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
You are.
And so I'll even say like, oh, like if we're going to dinner, you can pick the place we go to dinner and it'll be out of the choices that we've already selected, right? Like we've pre-selected the choices. So me and Param, we're good with any of the choices. Like we've already determined that. And that way, and then like it'll be like, oh, it'll say like, okay, you get to choose like this thing for breakfast. And then afterwards, do you want to go to the farmer's market or go to the park or go to the playground? And you get to pick that. And so it's more about like I really feel strongly like having a person know like, hey, you are valued and special. And this is going to be all about you.
I love that. I really do. Of course, with us, if I wanted to do something we're already doing, it would be here are your breakfast options: Cheerios with chia seeds or Golden Grams without chia seeds. Those would be her options.
You put chia seeds in your Cheerios? You so fancy, girl.
It wouldn't be some big extravaganza of like pancakes and French toast or any of that stuff because we do not make any of that. Except Saturdays, I'll put frozen waffles in the toaster, and that's as fancy as we get. And I'll make bacon, but I'm going to admit this, it's pre-cooked bacon, so it's even easier.
Oh my gosh, you're so hilarious. Okay, well, I make French toast and pancakes and stuff, but I sometimes make waffles and then I'll make extras because the kids love eating waffles. I'll make extras and then put them in the freezer. And when my kids go somewhere where they have frozen waffles, or if we ever buy frozen waffles, they'll be like, wow, frozen waffles taste so good. And I'm like, you don't like my buckwheat, like fancy organic waffles that I make you guys that are huge? And they're like, no, those are good too, but Eggos taste so good.
Eggos is pretty darn good. And just add some chia seeds and you're good. It is
so
really
funny.
good. And that's what I'm saying. If I know it's good, I'm like, I'm not wasting my time.
That's hilarious. So yeah, I'm big on the birthday extravaganzas. I want to tell you too, this idea of like not caring what other people think. I had my own little experience with it at a wedding last week where one of my very best friends got married. And so when at the wedding reception, a bunch of us were together. It was like some people from Texas, some people from California that I grew up with and that I'm friends with, and then some people from DC that I grew up with too. And we're all together on the dance floor. And it was the first time, I think in my life, or maybe in like a really long time, that I didn't have any other voices in my head. And we just danced for like 4 hours straight. We had such a great time.
That's awesome.
And when I say no other voices in my head, what I mean is like, like, oh, is anybody looking at me? Do I look fat in this dress? Or I wish I was
Yeah.
skinnier, or like everyone else is dancing better than me,
No, you're right. I know exactly what you mean. Those voices are always in my head.
And I had such a great time. And I made my kids dance with me also. And there was just like such an energy about being around all these positive, like resilient, no one cares what anyone else thinks women. It was so good for the soul. I danced for like 4 hours. And my friend Caroline actually said to me, she was at the reception with us, and she said to me the following day, like, what I loved was that everyone was just in the moment.
Yeah, you don't see that very much. You don't feel it very often.
Yeah, you don't. And
Yeah.
I think I credit the DJ a little bit too. The DJ was awesome. And he was playing such a good mix of like old songs and new songs. And every song that came on, we were like, yay, and like we kept on dancing and stuff. And he played everything. He played Punjabi music. He played like gangster rap. He played hip hop. He was playing just a
Right.
mix. He played country music. And we started two-stepping. And it was so much fun. And the next morning, we were all talking about how we all had such a great time. And my friend Caroline made that comment. And then I was talking to Bottom about it. And he said, gosh, I don't know why like women put so much on themselves. Like
Yeah.
guys go in, they're just like, oh yeah, I look good. And that's it. They don't ever look in the mirror again. They don't ever go touch up their makeup or lipstick. They're just there dancing and they don't care. So, like when he said it, he was just like, it's so weird. And I was like, but it's not like we're not sitting there trying to be like that, right? Or trying not to be like that. It just happens. And so a bunch of us were talking about it at breakfast the next morning in the hotel and just saying like, oh, it was such a great time and why can't we do more of that? And then the subject turned to like, what does that mean for our kids? Like, what will our girls learn?
Yeah.
And, that kind of thing. And so as we were kind of working through it and talking through it, I realized that my daughters, who normally, they like dancing at home, but don't ever dance at parties. They're always like, no, it's okay at parties. They danced the entire night.
Oh, that's nice.
And Bottom showed me some video of them dancing on the dance floor. And it was just like so cute. Like they also didn't want to leave. And so we were talking about that like energy, right? You can generate this energy.
Yeah, and you feel just so centered.
Yes. And everyone feels like everyone's welcome. Anyone can come. Come on.
And you don't hear judgment because sometimes those voices are kind of, I'm not saying it's some of it's just in your head, but I think some of it is because you can sense that energy around you. And that's probably one of the reasons you didn't hear it, because no one was thinking it. Really. It's pretty scientific.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And then it brings back to mind something that you and I have talked about a lot, which is like finding your tribe and finding people who are really looking for the best in you, right? And that's what they're willing to give you. And that's what the focus is. And so to experience that for myself, I've experienced it before in little pockets, but to experience that for like 4 hours straight and see the effect on my kids, I was just like overwhelmed. Like I feel like totally bonded with all of the women that were there.
You feel like you're floating, right?
Yeah. It was really amazing. It was like really amazing to the point that, so that the next day, we had breakfast all together and then everyone got into their respective cars or planes or whatever and came home. And that night I was tucking my little one in and she kind of like her voice was a little shaky. And I said, is something wrong? And she's like, no. And I was like, are you sure? And I'm asking her and she's like, no, I'm fine. And I was like, you want me to read you another book? And she's like, no, it's okay. And I was like, what's wrong? I sat down, so I got into bed with her and I was snuggling with her and I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, I had so much fun. I loved everyone there. And I miss all of those people.
Aww.
And I was like, who do you miss? And I thought it was her friends. Because like my friends who had kids that were her age, she named her friends. And then she also named a bunch of my friends.
Aw, what a moment.
And she was like, I just love them.
It definitely had an impact.
Yes, it really did. And I tried to tell her that, like I tried to focus her back, not to be like Winnie the Pooh about it, but I tried to focus her back to like, how lucky you are that you even have that relationship and that you have people that you can have memories with like that. And that didn't really help her. And I said, do you feel better? And she said, no.
I want to go back.
She was like, I just wish we could like live with them or be close to them all the time. It was so cute. I just loved it. And I was like, oh, it's like her first little experience with like heartbreak of not being with your friends, you know?
But also, whenever she thinks about that, she'll like have that feeling again, which is awesome. That's why memories are so
Yeah.
important, to have these positive memories too, along with the heartbreak. That's part of it.
Yeah, I think both are part of it.
It starts early, where the women feel more judged than the guys. And I'm going to tell you my story about Alyssa right now, which is an ongoing thing, which is a little funny, but I'm also like talking to her about it. Like, it's not always funny. So she has this new thing where she only loves me when I wear a dress and my hair is down. No, I literally, it's like a bit with us now. Like last night at dinner at his family's house, I did the bit. And I was like, all right, everyone, you all want to be entertained? So I probably shouldn't support it this much either, but it's funny. So if I wear a sweatshirt, she literally, Mommy, you're wearing a sweatshirt. I don't love you. And I was like, okay, Alyssa, no matter what, I'm your mommy. Whether I'm wearing a sweatshirt, my hair is up or down, I'm still mommy, just like you. I love you no matter what. It's, I'm trying to teach her all the right things. It's what's on the inside that counts. And she's like, but you look so beautiful with your hair down. And I'm like, but I don't want to have my hair down, And then sometimes she'll ask me she wants my hair down, and I also wanted it down, but I'll make it very clear. I want it down because Mommy wants it down, not because you asked me. Thank you, Mommy, for putting your hair down, So she'll still take credit for it. And it's interesting because she doesn't do that to Samir. That's my point. Samir can wear a sweatshirt, T-shirt, glasses, no glasses, hair done, hair not done, and it's all the same. Oh my God, Daddy, I love you. Mommy, I literally have to look nice in order for her to say it. Now, I have clarified with her. I'm like, you mean you love how I look? I know you still love Mommy, But then she's like, but I love you so much in the dress. And now she even goes to my closet and tries to pick out dresses, which are way too fancy to wear just, at home all day, right? And funny thing is, you know me, I'm a sweatshirt girl. I wear jeans, sweatshirts, hair up, no makeup. Yeah. So I don't know where she's learning this from.
I think she's either a fashion designer at heart, and she's like, oh my gosh, my mom has so much potential and she's not living up to it.
Maybe she wants to give me a makeover every day. Yes.
No, but honestly, okay, but let me just say realistically, because it does sound cute, but I can see why it's like troubling you just slightly. There is this aspect of like this princess syndrome, right? Like, look at Cinderella. We don't like think Cinderella is beautiful until she transforms and her hair comes down and she has flowers in her hair and she's wearing a dress. And same thing with Belle in Beauty and the Beast. And same thing with the girl Tangled, right? I mean,
yeah, no, that's true.
There's so many of those. So that is like she's exposed to that, and we know that that's a common theme in media. And so that book that I was reading about, You Play the one called You Play the Girl, talks about the role of institutionalizing the way that we look at how a woman should dress, how she should look, how she spends her free time is really dictated a lot by media, especially by film. So I think that could be playing into it.
No, that's probably definitely playing into it. I think she's learning from there, but whatever it is, it starts very early. That I'm judged on my looks, even with my daughter, while Samir isn't. So you can see why that carries over in adulthood, and we're the ones with the voices in our head.
Yeah.
And we're the ones guilty when you're in the pool or guilty when you're in the kitchen. So it's just interesting, It's interesting that it starts so early. He's not being judged and I am. I'm like literally mom judgment from her.
Yeah, and I think it's good that you're calling it out and like talking about it.
Oh, I am.
Even if it is just making a joke about it now, but then later you have the grounds to like have that discussion.
Yeah. She'll remember this.
Gosh, the job is so hard. Like our jobs are so hard.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. And even at the pool, when we were on vacation, she wanted the dolphin, the inflatable dolphin, which was the other end of the pool. And I can swim fast, right? That's my thing. I don't have many, but this is one thing. And I was like, I got it for you. I got it for my daughter because I didn't want any other kids to get the dolphin before me. And I went to the other side of the pool, the deep end. I came back and I'm thinking, yay, hero, Mommy, finally. And she's like crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? Because I wanted to get it. And I'm like, can I ever win?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, the good news is that you just have another 40 years with her until she'll be on the dance floor and she'll be partying like
exactly.
I was.
And hopefully she'll get to experience that synergy that you did.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay, well, thanks so much, Lisa, for the conversation. And thank you, listeners, for listening in to this episode of It's Your Time to Shine. Talk to you again soon.